out.
Okay.
Also in LA, there's a plan to opt out.
Okay.
But it's not a necessary condition of a civil injunction. A
Okay.
civil injunction is a civil injunction. And so if the community doesn't step up and say, hey, you can't just keep these folks on the list for the rest of their lives, we're not okay with that,
Okay.
then there will be no
So
opt out.
there's nothing on the civil injunction that says one will brought him on the list?
Okay, and so the way that they put the list together
Okay.
was they had 2 members, I believe, of the gang task force. Is that right, Eris? Two members of the gang task force
Okay.
testify, put together information, evidence
Okay.
to say this person has engaged in
Certain
activities, and they are a member. There's enough evidence from us too. And this is great. This is a civil injunction. Enough evidence from our perspective to say that this person is a member of a gang, right? And so they are listed on this, okay? And so that goes to court. That goes before a judge. Judge looks at it, says, well, no one's showing up to say that they're not on the gang.
Okay.
They shouldn't be on the list.
Okay.
The reasons why that was true, it's complicated, and that's something that we can talk about,
Okay.
I think at another meeting.
Okay.
Right, and so the injunction goes through.
Okay.
No one opposed it, no one showed up.
Okay.
Injunction goes through. These folks, this is the preliminary injunction. Now we have the official injunction.
Okay.
You folks are on the list.
Okay.
You can't engage in these sorts of activities. As Eris was saying, if we see you do that, right, we're going to kick you out.
Okay.
Right? And if you're already on probation or parole, it's really going to complicate it.
Okay. Because there's more does and don'ts. Right?
Yeah, there are a list of 10
muddy
do's and
water.
don'ts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, I can come with that at our next meeting, kind
Okay.
of outline the introduction of gang injunctions in the Western Edition.
Right.
That's
Okay.
not a problem.
So what I'm asking for is, obviously they're at a point where they can't get off the list, correct? Unless
Right.
they opt off.
Unless they go to a judge.
Unless they
If
get.
you know the opt-out plan, you can just set that to the side because it really
Okay.
don't carry no weight.
Okay.
No matter where you're at, you gotta go to a judge
Okay.
and convince the judge to get you off the list. That's
Okay.
just it. It's like a child custody battle.
Okay.
If the judge says the mom has full custody, that's never gonna change until you go till you go back to the judge and the judge changes it.
Okay.
It's the
So
same thing
what
here.
does the judge needs to say this?
There
gentleman
is no thing. It's just like with a child custody. There is no specific.
But there's a guideline.
No, there is
that says,
guidelines.
okay,
Yeah.
we
And so
need
what
to-
is and so that's what
Okay.
and that and so basically,
How do I learn the guideline?
well, that's okay. How you learn the guideline is you to get off the gang injunction.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the thing. There
There's
is
nothing in place.
See, that's the thing. It's not like child custody where that's
No.
No,
I'm
let me
asking,
finish.
is there anything in place?
There's nothing in place.
Okay.
That's the thing. That's, if he's on the gang, and if he don't know, then that means even if there is some in place, it's a problem. Do you know about anything in place? Is there a list of things you gotta do?
No, I talk to my every time I talk to my probation officer, and he always say like opting out is like unnecessary. Like it's nothing like he said it won't work. He always tell me like it's not gonna work. And, one time he told me like when the gang injunction first went through, when it was preliminary hearing, he never told me like that. Or you got to go to a judge, like when the police come in and they testify that there's a gang, they didn't like make it clear to people, everybody that's on the gang injunction to come together and come to court. It wasn't like we had a court, it was a court day, but like it was kind of like in small writing, like we didn't really know. So like he told me that like I should go to court, but somehow like I just missed it.
Did you go to court?
No, I don't remember what day it was.
Did anyone represent you in court?
No, I didn't go to court. I didn't nobody go to court.
So it happened without your knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay, you were just placed on this list, had a time to show up for court, but because of whatever happened, you weren't there.
Yeah.
And you were placed on this list.
Yes.
Someone knows, there's some legalities that are existing, okay? And if there are no legalities, I need to find out who's the person that's saying the list. You see what I'm saying? There's something there. It's by law. Civil suits are civil.
Yeah, I know
by the
you
very-
must have been served, though,
Yeah,
right?
something has to happen,
you served that
okay? So
paper.
you were served a paper, and so we're going like, oh, that's not fair. He was like placed on this list and didn't know anything about it. See, and people get riled up emotional, like,
Yes.
because this was done, and that was unfair.
But not a lot of people is educated in the law.
Yeah, that's true, but what I'm saying is, the person who heard you were placed on the list without your knowledge would be upset, because that's wrong.
Well, you were served,
And they
right?
didn't know that
Yes,
you
I
were
was.
served.
So you didn't go to court,
See?
you didn't go to court for a reason. Like you knew,
Well, see, the thing about it, now, if you even want to go to the being served. Now, according to the Department of General Orders, which governs the police department, they're not even supposed to serve any civil lawsuits against anybody.
Okay.
The police served everybody on the gang injunction, so they committed a crime, first of all.
But,
And they told people that they didn't have to go to court.
okay.
So the police were serving
Okay.
people
Yes,
illegally, first of all.
Okay.
And then they're providing false law,
Right.
telling you don't have to go to court.
Right.
So, like, once again, that's why I said we gotta look deeper into this whole thing.
And I'm with you
You know.
100%, but what I'm saying is, we should do that.
That's what
And
I'm
those-
saying.
Those are a
Right.
way you can attack the civil action itself.
Right.
Okay, so
Right.
if I have 1, 2, 3, okay, if they broke a law here, they broke a law there, why not attack at the law that was broken? Okay, so we're not looking at the full picture. If you're talking about a civil injunction, and this happened, it's a law. You fight a law with a law. You're trying to overrule a law or overturn a law, but you need laws to do it. Bottom line, you have to go to a judge. Someone has to speak on behalf of this person to get him off that list. So I need to know, one, how he got on it. No, you don't necessarily need money.
A
'Cause
lawyer to go fight will
all
cost
I'm
money, and that's
saying,
why
you
this
can
young
get
man
somebody,
still.
there's lawyers out there you can find to assist you.
The public defenders that defend half of these young men.
No, actually, the
Find
public
it.
defender.
We're not talking to public defender. We're talking about, it's a civil suit. So you look at lawyers that deal with civil suit, but you have to have the law in which they can operate.
And the CAT team can do that.
Okay, so if you start out with that process with me, then I'm going, okay, yeah, give me some details now.
So that's and
See,
no, and
I'm
you're
talking about something that's viable to work on.
no,
now.
you're absolutely right
Yeah.
though.
So
because we could, I mean,
Yeah,
this is I mean, in my opinion, I like the fact that it's a little more casual, but at the same time,
I can go casual.
but no, but it can't stay casual because
This is what I'm saying. When we gather, we cannot waste time so much as saying that, what's your skills, what can you do, and then I apply your skills to what I want to do, okay? What I say is tell me what you want to do, okay? And I see if I can do that. And how you're convincing me is you're telling me what it is and what got him on there and what by law we can get him off of there. That's just what I asked of her. And from going there, we got to what he said, that they were doing something illegally. And if it's truly illegal, you can come do it by law. Okay? That's a different avenue than what we started with. Okay? So I say, the way I said and what I said, to get to that avenue, because that's a viable avenue for me. This is not a viable avenue because we talked about a number of things. We talked about what's happening in the co-ops. We're talking about what happened with other types of injunctions in different places. And then we finally got to what's happened to a Western Addition junction. Those are all different areas. They might connect, but do they get me to where I want to go? And what I want to go is to help this young man. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at how the cops look at him. I'm not looking at how I can view him. I'm looking at what gets him out of the state that he's in. And if you're not looking at the things of God touching his life, you better have something stronger to get him out of that position. Because we're in a terrible situation. And we can't go around the problem trying to get it done. We have to hit it directly on his head. That was that direction. And here in the 725, we're just going that direction. That's what I'm saying. Give me the facts.
Well, see, that takes time if you know some lawyers. That's the whole thing. That's what the community action team is. You're telling him to go look.
All I'm
at
asking for the facts.
That's what I'm
We
saying.
haven't even got to the lawyer's aspect. I'm just looking at the facts. The facts is what she has to bring to the table.
Well,
I think
I
that's
can
what we
bring
should-
more facts
Yeah.
too, but I think
That's what I'm
different
looking at.
people,
So-
I think
Yeah.
what also will be true is that different people will be called into the work on different paths.
Yeah, but all I'm
And so
saying,
we should, kind of
if
have
you're
a
calling me
holistic-
to the table and say, come, let us
You're a
reason,
facts person.
you gotta
We
give
got
me
you.
something to reason for. I don't move
We
with
should
emotionalism.
segment
Well, that's all I would see,
Yeah.
that's what I just said in the beginning. I'm just trying to everybody get an introduction, say what some of your skills are.
Mhm.
And if you want, to have, I asked if we can have another meeting. That
Sure
way
you
we can bring the facts and things.
Well,
That's all I'm
when you
asking.
when you said that, that's when I asked her to impart what she can impart.
Right,
Okay, and it's by those things that I move.
okay.
I'm not moving about what they're trying to do to the community, how they're trying to isolate us, how they're trying to separate from our family. Because hey, you put your foot in that rat trap, it's gonna do what it's designated to do.
Not always though.
And that's
Excuse
why-
me, in this situation is always, in this neighborhood, in the Western Addition, you go out of line, they will put you in a hole that you cannot dig yourself out of.
Or you don't have to be out of
Yeah.
line. That's what we're trying to say.
Yes,
And when they come and do their
Out of line is by
presentation,
association.
when she does her presentation,
Yes.
you get the full view. Because there's things I would like to know.
Yes,
And if we're not educated, we're ignorant, and then we're trying to inform everyone else.
yeah.
Trust me, once you hear the full presentation on history and everything that is involved, I think you'll have a better understanding. And then as a group, yes, everyone will decide what they want to do, and we can move different avenues, because I think it is important to not just create an opt-out plan, but to better these young men, to improve, and that's really improving the community, and that in turn will definitely prevent violence, hopefully.
That's a mouthful.
But not just, I mean, we, like you said, you want to, legally, you want someone to, you want this to cease.
No, I'm not saying that.
Illegally
I'm
throwing
saying-
people in a gang injunction is, I want to
Yes,
cease.
if that is, if
Yes.
that's what done that way, if you go, something was done illegally, how do you fight that?
Mhm.
Legally, okay? And if there's enough injustice, I'm telling you, you can find you a lawyer. You will get you a lawyer. But I'm saying that there's many things that we address, that we want to do, that you want to change. There has to be something that you are actually going to pinpoint that you can change, because you have 15 roles. 15 roles will take you a long time to change, okay? So to better use your time, your resources, what you're trying to do, tell me if you're trying to do truly the opposites, okay? And A, B, and C are your goals, okay? Then you can get everybody to back A, B, and C, boom, and put all their energy behind that to do that, okay? And if you're trying to get somebody who work in the community and have people in the co-ops to do that, then that's another thing. But if you have 4 or 5 forks that you're working for, resources can't supply 4 or 5 forks. I know that. So I'm not moved by all the ills that plague society. I know them, been there, seen that, done that. But a viable way to crush a head is to get at the head, not the toe.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I just want to ask you, I ain't really trying to,
No,
put
just
you on
ask the
spot.
question.
I'm just saying, what would you consider, grounds for being labeled as a gang member?
Gang activity. Now, what is gang activity?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Is it based on crimes that you've done that determines a gang activity? It can't just be the coming together. See, this is not coming together for eating food.
No, I'm just saying,
No, I'm saying it can't just be you hanging out with your family members in front of the house. There has to be an activity that someone in that group is doing.
okay, if
So
it's a
if you're-
criminal
if you're-
activity, would it have to be in the gang or individual?
It doesn't have to be, it doesn't, well, see, what I'm saying is, if it's an individual doing a criminal act,
Yes.
you're associated with that individual long enough, birds of a feather flock together. Two cannot walk together unless they agree.
Well, see, I
So
think what
there's,
he's saying, if I go break in a car right now by myself,
by yourself,
that means I'm an individual.
yes.
That don't have nothing to do with the game.
Okay,
But
say,
since I live in this neighborhood and I break in a car and get caught.
And already have a
put me
record in
on
place,
that
okay,
junction.
And they
now,
know where
is
you're
that why
from.
they putting you on?
you're
Why they
on.
put me on the gang junction?
No. Is that why they put you on the list?
Yes,
because
I've
I broke
actually
in the
done
car.
a crime on my own.
You're a
And
crime on
just
your
because
own.
I live in an area where they were doing a gang injunction, I was put
Okay.
on that gang injunction.
Because
But
of that
I wasn't
one
in
crime.
a gang. Yes, I wasn't in a gang, and I wasn't there's no I believe a gang is 3 or more people. And like if I was to do a crime by myself,
So what if
why would I be
they dictate,
labeled as
what
a
if they
gang?
dictate that the crime mentality is what you're associated with? Because if there are 4 or 5 people in the neighborhood breaking in cars, and all of a sudden you break in a car, doing the same activity as those 4 or 5 people, they associate you with those 4 or 5 people. That's association by act.
Yeah, so
That sounds like how the
Well,
police.
Even if they're like months apart? Even
It's
though they're
it's
months
the-
apart?
What I'm saying, and I'm telling you, it's the activity that's in that area that gets you by association.
okay.
If you were isolated from those 4 or 5 people, okay, do you have any connection with those 4 or 5 people? So that means if those 4 or 5 people was Johnny, your brother, or maybe Susie, your second cousin's friend, right? Then those 5 people probably or possibly have a strong influence over your life.
Okay.
So you're apt to do that. Do you wake up in the morning to decide to just to break in a car window?
Well,
Why'd you do it?
well, it was
You don't have to answer that. But what I'm saying is there's something influenced you to do that particular activity.
yes.
Okay? It's that influence that they want to separate you from.
Okay.
Okay? That influence happens to be very close to you. So you're going to feel you're stopping me from hanging out with my family. That's wrong. Come on.
No, I just wanted to ask that question to get to another point, which was if I was to break in a car and I was associated with some people that had done it before, what would I have to do to prove like?
Break your association with those people. Change your activity. If you're going down a street at 55 miles an hour, you're going to hit something. You're going to hit a car or hit a force. Somebody has to stop you from going that direction.
Okay.
In order to prove to me that you're not going in that direction, you have to change your ways. The scripture calls it repent. Okay? So you have a word that came out to you to say, stop doing what you're doing, go in a different direction. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that this activity is going to stop because it's going to go on, because people are concerned with what's going on with young people. But you have to stop what you're doing. And don't think because you do it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, or you have associated with people who are doing that. Stop the activity that you're doing. Stop the interaction and stop the association with those people that you were associated with. Change your mind. Change what you're doing. Because if you change your mind, you're going to change your activity. Be consistent in that. Whether they take you off the list.
There's a thin line between association, because like we said with the car example,
You got the
like
ball from somewhere.
I wasn't physically associated with them, like, but just
They're
because
looking
they
at a
did-
mindset.
just because I got the same mindset as somebody.
But when you wake up,
But how would I break
how'd
that
you get that
association?
influence? How'd you get that influence?
It might not have been them people that had did that.
How'd you get it? Because you weren't anywhere else. How'd you
Well,
get it? Who
I'm
else
just
were
saying,
you around?
I could have just went to a neighborhood. I could
I
have did this
understand, but-
crime somewhere else. But just because I did that crime and I live in this area
Yes.
where the gang injunction is going on, they're going to associate me as that.
By association. You placed on a list by association. This is what she said.
Yeah.
By
So
association.
anybody that's around in my
Doing the
neighborhood.
same thing, you're high
not the
risk.
same thing. Just any other crime. I could have robbed a bank.
Yeah,
Somebody else
you
could
could've.
have. Somebody else could have robbed a car.
But what are they judging
But
you
just
on?
because we're in the
What are
same
they
area.
judging you on?
Where you live.
Where I live.
Where do you
Where
live and your activity?
Yeah, I mean, we could
Okay.
live in the same.
Say-
We could live in the same
no.
place.
If you're looking at where you live and your activity.
Yes.
If where you live kept you with a GPA of 4.0, no crime, doing the best you can, trying to give out, there's no way you would have been associated with that group. No way, because that group is not doing that.
Okay.
It's the activity you did as an individual. Doesn't matter if you was with the group or not. You were influenced by something in that group.
Okay.
They made association with you and your activity, your mindset to the activity of the group and the people in that group. That's what got you. You didn't
Yeah.
just didn't wake up and say, I'm gonna break a window. What influenced you?
Well, I'm just trying to make a point that like people get labeled as association.
For sure.
Even though
I just told you what the
even
association
though-
is.
even though they're not actually associated.
Where you influenced? Where'd you get your influence from? You don't have to answer, just
Well,
think about
well,
it.
now I'm just trying to say something. like I said before, I could actually be from a gang in Oakland. I'm just saying, I'm just
It's
making it as an
hypothetical.
example.
It's
I could
hypothetical.
actually be in a gang in Oakland and do crimes out there.
But
With that,
gangs
with that,
in
with
Oakland-
them, with them people, they could be
They
influencing me.
do the crimes in their area.
Okay, now if I get caught in Oakland doing a crime, and it just so happen they're doing a gang injunction around my neighborhood in San Francisco, I'm going to be a part of the gang in San Francisco, not in Oakland. You know what I mean?
You have an injunction in San Francisco. Why do you have an injunction in San Francisco and not in Oakland?
No, I'm just making an example.
I understand that,
They're
but
doing a gang injunction in San Francisco.
what I'm saying, in your example must make sense,
Yes,
okay?
if you think
Because
about
they're
it,
not
kind of
dealing
do.
hypothetical. But to put you on that list is not a hypothetical. Okay?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
But,
I'm just saying.
and I
like, just to-
understand, I
just to give
understand
you a
what you're
view.
just saying, but I need you to see what got you on that list is not a hypothetical.
Okay.
Okay, and I don't want you to take this as, you know, you can't do anything, you can't go anywhere. There are stipulations, okay, on you now. There are limitations. But see, you have what's in you to overcome that. That should be another thing of what we're putting in you. See,
Okay.
what we're putting in you at this particular juncture is that you have something on you and you're feeling the pressure, you're feeling the ouch, you're feeling the limitation. That's what it's for.
Well, yeah, but like I said, it's really.
So what are you gonna
it's
do?
Really, I'm just saying that I feel like it's unfair,
Of
and
course it's unfair.
I'm not saying unfair just because I'm feeling a pinch. I'm just saying
Why
like
is
this
that
could have
unfair?
happened to anybody else, and I could be with my little cousin, who don't have nothing to do with me, and don't have nothing to do with, and just because I bring them outside and walk by a group of people and the police put me over, they're going to associate my little cousin that don't have nothing to do with it.
So what are you gonna do for your little cousin?
I'm just saying, I'm just making this,
The
I'm
question
gonna,
is, what are you gonna do for your little
what
cousin?
can I do? They're gonna label him as a gang member.
Don't bring your little cousin around you, because you're in a state.
Oh.
Hold on,
Come on.
Listen to me for 1 second. Listen to you for 1
Last
second.
comment and we're moving on.
Okay,
Okay.
there are
Wow.
certain things you have to be doing to label your little cousin that way. You can't just be walking down the street.
Yes.
Okay, they might think your little cousin's gonna be the next, whoever the killer is or something like that, right? But it hasn't happened.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
It has not
But
happened.
just because I'm bringing my cousin past these people, I probably not even associated with them. I probably not even want to say anything to them.
Okay,
But just because we're walking past these group of people,
Okay.
and the cops just come in and look at us and just pull us over and just stop and just hop
so
off.
this is just you
They're
being
gonna
in the
label-
vicinity of
Yes.
these people? So I
Yes.
need to know what I'm saying, once again, I need to know what dictates the injunction and what labels you and what causes you to be where you
By
are.
association.
By association, what is that? Right here, 5 feet,
So
2
that's what
feet?
we agreed to the next
Conversation?
meeting to
Yeah,
do,
but
right?
I'm just asking
Right.
what he is
Right,
saying.
no,
See?
that's what I'm saying,
See?
though, because we
Because
do got
that,
to move.
once you have that knowledge, you can dictate your actions based on what governs you in the pinch. Okay? You're saying, what if I do this and does that? So you need to find out what governs you. You need to find out what your limitations are. And if they're your limitations, then you have to abide by those limitations
So I
while you're
can't-
there.
I can't have any family members around.
You have to
me.
find out what it's saying you can and can't do.
Yeah, that's exactly what it said. It said if I was to invite somebody over to my house and we was to walk to the store and we passed a group of people at the same time the police.
You're just passing.
Yeah.
There's
We-
no
we're just-
conversation.
no conversation.
You're just
We're
in the
just
same
passing.
vicinity.
Yes. The police pulled me over and oh, this is gang activity. And yeah,
What
this is
dictates
what they're
gang
saying.
activity?
This is what they're
Okay,
saying.
okay.
The police will put, oh, this is gang activity. Even though there's nothing going on, I'm just walking by with my cousin. Then he'd be like, who are you? And they see like, oh, okay, y'all are gang members because y'all on this list.
Okay, but see, what I'm saying is, you have to be knowledgeable about what is gang activity,
Exactly, but.
okay?
but
Are
that's-
you
that's what I'm
knowledgeable
saying.
about what is gang activity?
I am. That's why I'm making this point.
But what is gang activity?
It's
No,
been-
we're saying just to be in, what's the proximity? What is
And
it?
you know what, it goes back to like he said earlier. They actually passed a law, 3 or more black men together is considered a gang.
Okay,
So am I considered a gang if I walk down here with 3 of my brothers from the church? That means we're a gang?
according to that definition, yes.
Okay, so that's the problem. That's what
Okay.
we're trying to solve.
So
You
walk
can't
by
tell me
twos.
it's a gang. Huh?
Until you can change that law, walk by two.
No, I'm gonna walk by 5.
Okay, so
Now,
So
we
we
ain't
ain't
gonna change
changed
that.
what I'm saying is, You know what governs you.
But they can't just say that.
But
They already did it.
And just because they say it does not
So
mean
what
we
I'm
have
saying,
to, we have
either
to be
you
confined to
come on
that.
now, either you
That is
overturn
true.
what they did, okay, or you run the risk
Civil
every time.
disobedience. You will not, you cannot tell an entire community that, and then you go back to, because these
Okay,
crimes
so
happen.
who-
Well, guess where all the crimes are gonna happen?
Well, what
They're
I'm
not
saying
selling
is-
drugs
what
in
I'm
Sunset,
saying
like on
is-
the corner.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why the activity is here, because they're not doing it in Sunset. So I'm not really worried about Sunset. I'm not worried about.
Exactly,
Marina.
but there's no
I mean,
gangs in the
it's just-
Sunset,
no.
there are, and pretty much is the
So-
last comment, I'm gonna end it here
Okay.
because we have to be out of here by 8.
Okay, we have time.
Is the next meeting will be, I'll coordinate with you guys. We need an educational piece on gang injunctions, what it is, how it's defined, maybe here in San Francisco and compared to other states. We'll do all that because there needs to be some education
I don't
around
need
that.
I don't need so much the comparison unless it's fruitful for.
It is.
Yeah, of course.
It is, yeah, I think a
But
historical
what-
and a national context is really important.
Okay. You sound professor, which you are. But what I'm looking at, do you see what I'm trying to get to?
And I don't,
I need
think-
to look
I
at
think
what governs it. But if you say that if it says 2 or 3 or 4, and then I can break the law with 2 or 3 or 4, you're setting yourself up for a Penrose path.
And I think that's a question that the group is gonna have
Yeah.
to deal with.
So how do you overrule 2 or 4? Because if it's a peaceful gathering, you're gonna have a 20, 30, maybe 40 people, right? So,
And the problem is that it's been up to law enforcement to interpret what gang activity
so
and
how
blah,
do we
blah, blah,
get
blah,
in
blah.
there and change the definition?
And that's
what I'm
part
looking
of what, well, one, we could do as far as the gang injunction, but one, we would like that hopefully outlined somehow in this opt-out plan.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I didn't hear that. And I understand this is just a basic conversation. Okay, but in the basic conversations, I'm raising up these questions.
And I think that it's important to remember that that you are one member of the community, but there are a number of people who think the same way,
Right.
and the same, that share our opinions. And some of our opinions and our ideas will overlap, and some of them will be really distinct.
Yes,
And I think what Eris was saying is that there is room at the table for everybody.
yes, yes.
Right, having a different opinion doesn't exclude you from being part of the group.
No. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried of being accepted or not being accepted, come together to agree to disagree. That's not what I'm dealing with. What I'm dealing with is looking at concrete,
Right.
viable
And we're gonna do that.
ways
We're
to
gonna do
get
that.
a path. That's all
We're
I'm
going to
asking.
do that, and we're going to address some of these
Yeah.
concerns in the history of institutional racism, how it's tied into redevelopment, how it's tied into education.
It's money.
We're going to
Work
hit all
for it.
that, and how it impacts young people like, Jamal. I think all of that, we'll begin that.
So-
I'll sign up. That's the skill I can bring to the table. That's what
Hey,
I'm
E.
doing next time.
How long have the gang injunction even been around? How long has it been around so far?
For
About a
San
year
Francisco.
or longer? Yeah, right here in
It's
San
been
Francisco.
about,
About a year?
2006, I think the preliminary. was,
yeah, it started over in Bayview.
When they handed it out
Yeah,
to the
it
individuals
started
on the
over in
street,
Bayview.
that was about a year ago, right?
Yeah.
That's not a lot of time.
Yeah.
So are we
So I know
clear on-
something's
on
written.
what we're gonna have for the next meeting, I know what you mentioned, the introduction to the gang injunction, what's the agenda gonna be like for the rest of the meeting? Does anyone else have any ideas on what they'd like to see on this, for the next meeting?
I don't know if we'll have time for it, but I'd like to start thinking about ways that we can deal with the situation. Start putting a plan together. You have this opt-out plan, which is not accepted by the courts or any other orders. Is that true?
Oh, we gotta bring the opt-out plan, the
Yeah, I
actual
gotta
opt-out
bring
plan.
that plan from
So
the
introduction
lawyers
of the
committee.
Western Edition gang
And then
injunction,
why they're not
a
accepted.
copy of the opt-out plan. No, it's accepted. The
Well,
opt-out plan,
right now, what we're dealing with is making sure, like I said, with homies in the mission, they had to sit down with the city attorney's office to really find out if it is going to work, if this thing is really going to work. Jamal is a prime example, on the list, got 2 jobs, volunteering in his community, doing what he can do, to restructure his life. But at the same time, he's saying that I still live in the same community, and it's by not by my choice, I was raised there.
Right, I understand.
So what do I do by being raised in the community? And when I walk out the door, I don't see people with suits and ties. I see people with drugs and alcohol. So what am I going to do? It's not by my choice that I was raised up in here. I was born in this lifestyle, and this is what I'm trying to get out of now. So our thing is a wraparound. We're going to wrap around anything that he needs to get help in, then we're going to use him as a model and say that, okay, well, he done this, he's on the list, then we want to make sure he gets off and use him as a model to others. He done this stuff, so maybe the opt-out plan is take Jamal's plan. Do what he done. But that's not where we're going to get to unless we keep sitting down and come to an understanding of what the community wants. It's a community action thing. That's what I'm saying. We want your opinion, we want everybody's opinion on what should happen in this plan. Because just going according to the judge, you might not agree with the judge. You might not agree with me. So I want your input and what you figure people should do. So next meeting, what's a good date for you guys? I don't, let's.
If the people are going to speak, can you throw out some dates for us to look at?
We could set
Before
up
July 12th.
a day,
It's going to
like,
be away for
A
about
set day, like
A set day,
second
like
Wednesday of the month or something.
Okay.
What's the day? Tuesday?
Today is Tuesday.
Want to look at Tuesdays? For
Whatever
now?
works for you guys. I'm sure evening is better.
Tuesday is redevelopment. When redevelopment, you know what redevelopment?
It's every,
First and third or second and fourth?
well, I know they got a meeting next week, so whatever next week is.
That's the first Tuesday.
First Tuesday of the month.
So we could say, second or fourth. When
What's the second?
the second is the 8th.
Yeah.
That's good for you?
Mhm.
You want to say the day,
July
July 8th, and just make it second Tuesdays?
8th. Works.
Wait, July 8th, man.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah, we can use that, we can use the second Tuesdays for now and just roll it out, get started at least, because I know,
yeah, that ain't gonna.
one of the things that I'm looking at is using the different spaces, because I had a chance to go speak Friday at Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey Co-op. And what I'm trying to do is get the people that are really impacted by the gang injunction also part of this team. We're sitting around this table as members of the community at large, but we're not actually sitting here as people directly impacted by the gang injunction, because I don't stay in Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, I don't stay in Robert Pitts, nor Plaza East. So what we're also trying to do is engage the communities themselves to come out and be a part of this, because it's really a whole lot that they have to offer, because you have to stay there, you have to deal with the violence, you have to deal with the youth, you have to deal with everything. So I really want their input, and it's hard, of course, but I want to push, as well as us meeting, I'm going to push somebody to keep coming out from their community, because they're being impacted.
Do you have alternative ways in which to get that? They may not come to a meeting, but say, can someone go to them or make something local within their particular area, within the,
Yeah, that's what I said. I just met with them on Friday, and actually, really, I would say that we do have a participant, but right now, she's in the hospital, so she would step up to the plate and be here, but she's in the hospital, so I don't know who's next in line. I put it out there, but I know she would have been here, so, it's getting somebody else from that community. And I know it's a whole lot going on in this community right now, in other communities, but, all I'm looking at, like I said, I'm looking at those 3 neighborhoods and being a part. But you might have somebody else that that can be a part of this. I'm not excluding anybody, so if you have somebody else in mind, and they want to even come out to the next one and just get an education on the gang injunction, then please bring them. One of the things I want to do is stress to get those 3 communities involved, though. But no means, we do need some more people. So if you have somebody in mind that you think that want to just be a part of a community thing and get an understanding of gang injunction, then please welcome them. Please do.
We did submit a proposal. I mean, how this got started, as she was mentioning, we submitted a proposal to the Department of Public Health. And they gave us funds, so one of the things that we have at the table is funds. And we do have a tentative kind of outline of how we want to use these funds. So I think that's probably another thing we need to present at the next meeting, just kind of like what our grant is, kind of like what we're doing. Because even with what you said about, is there a way to reach out to people in the communities? We actually have funds to give people that's on the gang junction interview stipends to kind of talk about their life, how they got on it, what they feel they need. So there is some other things that we should present at the next meeting to give you more information, and you as well, and just, everyone here.
Eris, do you know if Jamal's gonna be on the CAT team?
I don't know, like you just said, he got 2 jobs, so, but if he can, he'll be there. I just stopped by his house this morning, so, just let him know about this morning, so, if he can be there, he'll be there. So I'll let him know when we're supposed to meet, and if he can make it. I went there this morning, he had, and that's the whole thing, to where right in Plaza East, you have I think 2 brothers, and they can't walk out the house together, or they'll be arrested. So that's one of the things, like we're saying, is you can be doing nothing. But since we're both on the gang injunction, that means we can't, you got to go get in the car, drive around the block, and then I got to go out the door and meet you around the corner, around the block, in order to get in the same car with you.
So what I'm asking is, you're still getting in the same car, right? What governs this? What says they have to do it that way?
It's a civil. You know what? I gotta.
See, what says
Right, no,
that he has to go around
I didn't
the
want to go
block?
back into it again.
Yeah.
I'm just
So,
giving you an
that's what I'm
update on
saying
some of the
is-
stuff that you will find
It's
out.
a court order.
In the
Okay.
civil lawsuit, you'll find all those things
Yeah.
that they can't do. I'm just giving you an example, because I was telling you that when I went to his house this morning, one of the participants that's also in the gang injunction was at his house.
Okay.
So I had a chance to engage them both, but even so, if they would have walked out the door with me, they could have been arrested.
Okay, so once again, they're putting themselves in harm's way by doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I need to know, what we're looking at is what they're being asked is so ridiculous and becomes against the law of nature. Okay, then we need to attack that from that perspective.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
if you're telling me it's a law, I'm gonna tell you, you have to come against the law.
Part of that I'll be able to give our data our next meeting. Part of that is gonna come from young people like Jamal sharing with us,
Those examples.
right, those examples.
Yeah, but for you to sit up here and say, oh, that's crazy, da, 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 da. But see, somebody dictated that. And someone did not intervene before the dictation was placed into law.
Us.
Okay? So because we did not do it, it becomes our responsibility to do it. And if we can't do it, we can't come together to attack that level so this young man can feel free to live in his own house, his own community. Maybe they're too restrictive. Maybe what they're doing is not causing a thing of stopping gang interaction or gang mentality, but putting a stigma on such that he can never come away from that. He can never deal with that. These are things we have to bring to the table and find a viable way for him to get out of that. But to say opt out, I mean, the damage is going to be done. Okay, so if he's feeling the crunch now, and if the crunch is humanly impossible for him to do, then we need to aid him in getting from underneath that. The crunch is still going to be the crunch, mind you. Okay, but because somebody didn't speak up at the time they should have spoke up, I mean, it's after the fact. What we can do after the fact can intervene on his behalf. And because people are now intervening on his behalf, that gives him hope. That says that somebody does care. But if I'm caring in a way that, saying, defy the law and see what happens. And say, oh, that's not right, that's not right. Come on now. That doesn't make sense. Okay?
So one of the things I'm gonna try to do is book our Western Addition Library for 3 consecutive meetings. We said the second Tuesday.
Second Tuesday. But give me that information.
Because I'm gonna give it to the whole group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Well, I guess at the next meeting, we'll establish if we want to.
We already established it.
Well, no, she's still saying she just needs some information, so she's not saying she's joining yet. She just said she needs some information for the next meeting, so after the next meeting, we can
Yes.
see.
To be very clear, I'm saying give me the information in which I can make the decision.
Right,
I don't make a decision blind.
right.
But it's also information that the whole group should have
Yes,
anyway.
exactly, yes.
I mean, it's an ongoing meeting, so, people are gonna sign up next week or the next time after that, new people are gonna come.
Yeah, I know, I just wanted to make sure that we were clear that she wanted the education before she actually said that she's gonna be a team member. So right now, we're still looking for team members. We don't actually have a CAT team, that's what I'm saying. Because nobody has actually said that they want to be a team member, except for those that agreed to it right now, to just have the next meeting as just regular community members. So maybe after the next meeting, I can ask if you want to be a CAT team member. So that's all I'm saying. So I'll see you guys next month on the 8th.
Okay, July. Next month is very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So that's me.
All right, Ram.
Okay.
Hey, Mickey, you on?
Thanks, Captain.
That's killer though. Killer good.
Yeah. Hey, hit me up, bud. Hey, hit me up. I found my swag. Open the gate, Cliff. Ain't gonna lie, she is sexy. Hit that shit, nigga. Did this shit, they hit me up on the board, nigga. That nigga got him a little, what's the name gun up there? And why you got a shotty bound, bean bag? It's a bean bag. Oh, bean bag gun? Yeah. So they shoot me up. I quit. That's the twin. You still on? I ain't gonna call nobody. Call my girl. Hey, no, I'm safe, baby. That's a nigga like, I'm safe, baby. Waiting for the call. They got your little thing up there.
Oh, that search warrant.
Oh, how much you doing, yo? Bro, that's it. Put it on this phone.
Guns drawn.
Police, you don't open the door, breaking the door down. Your last warning.
She ain't gonna do it. Somebody gotta help her.
My car's over here. Yes. You want to go north or you want to go north? All right, we'll take it. Yeah, he'll be at North Station. I'll be able to go to the church. I'll come in the front. Yeah, they go. Hazelton.
Why you tell her no? You know she gon' that's right, mama. Yeah, why would I refuse? She owns
Hey, hey.
Hey. Ooh, where baby killer? Where your cousin?
No, they're still up there. They're taking pictures to the report. So the owner of the place is up there, so they're going to place over there. You guys go. You go, you see papers. Thanks. Thank you. Take care. All right, see you.
New mark on the child kind of looks good.
Trying to do it too. So funny.
I see her in the uniform before.
She was trying to do it too.
So she a narc/cop?
I guess cat is okay.
However, it's best to be used. She's been over here before with Shift.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm.
She was a cop, huh? I mean, in black and white.
Shift first brought her over here. Yeah. They're bad at ramming the door. Gotta ram the door.
Hey, you gotta stop playing, I know that.
Alrighty.
You'll be like, she wants to be on camera. That's a female for you.
Yeah.
They didn't want to be on
She thought she'd give me the other side.
The only thing she wish she could take her clothes off for you.
Me too.
Would I get in trouble? Yes, you will, because I'm sure I'm about to kill Raymond from tape. I gotta have that one, Raymond. That's what your voice do. The voice do that on you. That don't do it.
One of the developers, I guess, leaving the building in a PT Cruiser. That's another one that just left the office. And so did that vehicle.
Where can I get one like that?
One what?
One of those movie cameras like that.
Best Buys,
Yeah. And it's
Circuit
not
City.
Not hard to use it?
It's very simple to use. You just got to set it up the way them
Like
up.
I was saying.
It's all up front.
But look, just like they got
You put them on for one day?
Yeah, but look.
And they're actually my rims. I bought these rims. I bought the last 2 sets of rim out here. And these were breakaway rims. They just didn't put all the parts in them.
But I'm just saying.
Baby.
Todavía hay espacio atrás. Dale, dale. Órale. Más. Qué bueno.
They actually said they were going to put new rims up and put the same rims up that they cut down that I bought. That's coming from our board. were actually crooked when they put them up from the beginning, so they really didn't give a shit. They just put them up. All the time. All the time.
Got the press. Got the press. Getting ready, he was harassing me the whole day. You feel me? Get all that, Ray. He was harassing me.
This one cat right here?
Both of them.
Oh, it's two in there?
Another one. It was both harassing me. Right there in the car. Get all of it.
What was they talking about?
They talking about we can't stand by the bus stop. First they came searching right there for nothing. Then we can't stand at the bus stop.
They said you can't stand the bus stop?
Yeah, and they just sat here and watched us for a good, what, 5-10 minutes. They sat right there.
Watch to see if a bus come or something.
Man, they crazy.
Yeah. Wow. Y'all gotta call me sooner. What car number? Right there. You come up, who you talking to? Who? If I do what?
Just do your normal thing.
Then why are you even talking to me? That's what I'm doing.
How you doing today? Good? Oh, you don't want to answer me when I'm being friendly?
You don't start out being an asshole and then be friendly. You start from the beginning being...
I told you what I was going to do if you did something, simple as that.
If I did something, and I walked across the street, you telling me I'd be breaking the law? If I walked across the street, you're telling me, officer, that I'd be breaking the law?
I can't hear you.
Me either.
Yeah.
That's sad. Come on.
How you doing? Right here, can you see my name? Can you see my face? You should be an actor. How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, keep it moving.
How are you doing today?
Car 1268, 62. This is what they do with taxpayers' money. Right around and around the block.
How you doing? Hey, can I get a copy of this? Can I get a copy of this? Come on back. Come over here. Can I get a copy of this?
You want to do an interview? Get out. Come on, you come on over. This is how you waste taxpayers' money. There's not even an issue out here, and you're riding around and around the block with gas prices as high as they are, burn up taxpayers' money doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Doing nothing. Do know this though, I'm not worried about you one bit.